This is going to be another episode of the Vincere High Rulers podcast. Welcome to week 2. This week, we have a very special guest, Bear, who is the owner of Vincere Esports. He is the creative mind who got all of us together, actually.
Sure.
We're pretty excited to have him on here. I'll go ahead and let you give a little introduction for yourself.
I'm camera shy.
God damn, clap it up. What a good intro,
job.
bro. Let's go.
Yeah, thank you.
He was waiting for the applause for his entrance, clearly.
Yeah, clearly.
Yeah, this is where like I'm walking across the stage, right? And then I sit down and then we shake hands. Everybody's shaking hands, and then I say, "Yeah, hi, how you doing?"
Well, then say it.
Yeah. Like,
That's what I said. Hey, how you doing?
Oh my God, this fucking guy. I swear to God.
Sorry, he's a little camera shy, as he said. So
he'll
he'll be a little awkward while
now,
talking
bro.
on here,
Yeah.
but don't mind him.
Okay.
So,
do you
anyways, I
wanna
guess moving
say-
right on, Bear. So, how are you, and how's your day going?
Pretty good. I woke up a little late, and then I played that toxic game called Modern Warfare. That's really about it. I watched a movie, and
Dog water.
now we're here. Dog water. Yeah, it is
Dog
a
water.
dog water game.
What movie
Very
did you
dog
watch?
water.
I already know the answer to that, but let's let the listeners know. Joker. How'd you feel about it?
It's a little weird, but I like it. I think it addresses some things. Which I don't know if y'all want to get into too much detail about, but I think it addresses some things in society that we should probably look at a little bit closer. And
Yeah, no, I agree.
So,
I'm just not a big Joaquin
It'd be a
Phoenix
little
fan, so I had a hard time watching that movie. It's nothing against like writing or anything like that. Joaquin Phoenix is
what?
just weird. Joaquin Phoenix, the guy who played the Joker. Come on, man. You gotta know names.
I don't know.
Anyways,
That's his name.
Yes, Joaquin. Oh my God, bro. I'm not getting into this right now.
His name is Joe Quinn.
Okay. I'm not even touching that one with
It's
a 10 foot pole.
it's Jay Quallen. Thank you.
I'm not
Jay
touching this
Quallen.
one with a 10-foot pole. We're gonna move the fuck on from this topic.
Anyway, so Bear.
His name is Phoenix, though.
Okay, shut up. On the topic of Vincere being the owner, what made you want to, for one, start an organization, and for two, what led you to want to be in the content creation / esports scene?
Okay, you're gonna have to remind me of the second part of the question, but I can't say first. So
Why did you start Vincere, and what started your road?
I got it.
Don't
So
panic. Don't make him panic. He'll cry.
so much pressure. No. So I started Vincere Esports because, I mean, first off, I'm a gamer. All three of us are
Bad one at
gamers.
that.
Hey, you know what? I'm leaving. No. But yeah, I'm pretty bad at games. I'm not gonna lie, but it's okay. You know, if you play games on the daily and that's just kind of your getaway from the real world, you know, like I consider you a gamer. You don't have to be good at anything, but I'm a gamer. And then I found esports pretty early, like I want to say it was like 2012. I have a screenshot of the game I was playing even when I found esports, but yeah, it was mobile.
Oh my
Everything was
God.
mobile. That's all I had. So I was a mobile gamer. Yeah, till 2012.
Hey, that's respectable.
Or not, from
Hey,
2012 to 2018.
mobile gaming has actually has a pretty legit footing in the esports world. I will give them that. Not to get
Well,
on
there's
that
like
tangent.
certain games, like there's like COD Mobile. You know, there used to be PUBG. I don't know if that's actually still a
PUBG
thing or not.
mobile.
Yeah, it is.
There's legitimately
So
Clash
there
Royale and
obviously,
stuff, but-
sadly, used to be like Fortnite Mobile and stuff like that. But like Clash of Clans, there's
That's
Clash
been a
Royale
thing for a while.
and shit like
Yeah.
that actually has some competition to it. Actually, it's pretty good.
Anyways, back to what we were saying.
No, but when I found esports in 2012, 2013, I actually tried to start mobile with my brothers, and then I just kind of quit at one point because I mean mobile was kind of not a thing at that point.
Yeah,
And
definitely.
then-
Esports was kind of still in its infancy. I mean, it still is
Oh,
in its
yeah.
infancy now.
Oh, yeah.
In 2022.
I think we were just seeing the rise of like all the trick shots and stuff, right?
Yeah,
I
that's
don't-
right. That's
I don't
about,
know timing.
that would have been like FaZe Clan and Optic and stuff like
Mhm.
that back then. Yeah.
Yep, exactly. And I mean that's when I also figured out who they were too. I started watching like FaZe Clan channel, but also like FaZe Banks a little bit and all of those original guys. But
Yeah.
what brought me to Vincere though was like I've tried multiple times, you know. it didn't pan out. Like I had a league that actually panned out for Rocket League. Where long story short, somebody stole the members, lied about some things, and stole the members behind my back. But
Jesus.
yeah, it was
The
pretty
tea.
depressing. I was already struggling, man, and this guy.
Yeah.
But
Yeah,
I
esports can
mean,
be
yeah,
ruthless
especially when you put
sometimes.
money in. Oh, 100%. I've done R6 even for leagues, but I essentially had started a club. I had left that just because of personal stuff going on. Then it did a league. I tried esports for CS and R6, and I was tired of leading something by myself. I took a break for a while, but I was tired of leading something by myself with nobody that was just as dedicated as me and Silver and you and Esther and them. But started esports just because it's growing, dude.
Mhm.
I want to say in 2019, I read that it had grown and it had finally hit like to be $1 billion industry or something like that. And it's still almost, I would say it's like in its quote unquote grassroots stage still. And
Definitely.
to me, if like I'm a gamer and I love watching esports, and if it's really that easy to get into, like you might as well, if you have friends to do it or something, like I don't know, you could create a community and a bigger community, and it's a challenge. And I'm kind of entrepreneurial minded, so
Mhm.
it takes up a little bit of time of your day, and I have a lot of time on
Well,
my
but it
hands.
also
So
goes back to like you're saying, like how I was saying, last episode, where it's like, you have a good community for one, but you also
Mhm.
you're starting something that you care about with people. Like you're not just in it as a business standpoint, but you're also doing it because it's your passion, So it's like a whole like difference between a job and a career. Career you enjoy, a job it's a job. And so
Yeah.
like I genuinely enjoy
Yeah.
my time here. That's why I've been at every game night, regardless if it's a game I care for or not, because I just enjoy talking and getting to know people that I like being around. And that's why I think Vincere is really good about is that we're already starting off, making sure that the community knows that we're
Mhm.
big part of them and with them and everything, and that we're definitely looking to constantly want to grow more.
Yeah.
And that we're not just like hard set on like straight content. Like, we genuinely just want to have people have a good time, which that's also a good window into this Tuesday, which I don't know when it's coming out.
Woot woot.
Tuesday,
Oh, I'm supposed to do that.
the second, we are hosting a Among Us night.
Amogus.
So it hopefully no, it's Tuesday the 1st, actually. My bad. So if it comes out before then, try to get in there on that. If not, be there on Friday.
Tuesday.
But we're Friday game night too, aren't we?
Friday is Fall Guys.
Yeah. So there's a
Friday's
Friday
Fall
Fall
Guys.
Guys tournament, and then Tuesday is Among Us.
Yeah.
Amogus.
So definitely come there for that. If you're not Among Us fans, definitely look forward to the tournament on Friday
Tuesday.
for Among Us.
Oh wait, never mind.
So
You said not. You said
everyone's
not.
getting dates mixed up. So Tuesday is
Ignore
Among
me.
Us, Friday is Fall Guys. Among Us is no money. Fall Guys has some money that you can get.
Yes.
So there is
What's-
that.
Yeah, what's
Now-
the prize, Bear? You're the one. You're the prize guy.
Yeah, it's hey. Never mind, she walked away. I was like, "Can I have water?" And she gave me it's like maybe a swig.
Yeah, that's just what she gave.
No, it's $25 a total, but we split it 15 and 10 for first and second place.
Yeah.
I got you.
Not that much money, but a little bit of money to get. So come out, have a good time with us, hang out.
And
We're looking to have a
it's
good
kind
time.
of like a thanks for coming. And
Yeah.
it gives
Yeah,
everybody
yeah,
a little
yeah,
bit of something to work
Yeah,
for.
it's a little bit of fun. So
Keep
on that
excited.
note,
Bear,
though, with tomorrow being Halloween, what are our thoughts on Halloween, boys?
I
Fuck
hate
this
Halloween, I'm not
holiday.
gonna lie.
I mean,
I'm glad we're all as. I mean, Halloween for me, right? It's never been a big holiday. I've never cared for Halloween. It's just free candy. I never cared to dress up or
Yeah,
anything.
exactly,
It's just candy, really.
exactly.
But also at that, I'm not a big candy person as is.
yeah. I
So it's
agree.
been a very minute holiday for me.
It's funny though, because what we have planned for this podcast, we both just said, I don't really care for candy all that much. But spoiler,
Okay.
we're gonna be doing a candy tier list. This is gonna be a hot debate for a little bit. We're gonna debate our tier list. We're gonna defend this, and it's gonna be a hot debate. But yeah, I mean, Halloween's just kind of one of those things. It's just like it's like the warm up to Thanksgiving. To me, Thanksgiving's like the main show for me. I don't know. I know like Christmas is like the big holiday for people, but for me, I'm a fat motherfucker. I'm gonna out myself here. I'm a fat motherfucker. Thanksgiving is like that's the Super Bowl, bro. Like that's what like every little kid was growing up. They're like, yo, I can't wait for Christmas. Can't wait for Christmas. I'm like, I can't fucking wait to eat my body weight in stuffing and corn pudding.
Literally.
Like. you know, like that's what it is. And Halloween was just kind of like, for me growing up, Halloween felt like the cheap knockoff of Thanksgiving to me, is the way it always felt.
Right.
It was just kind of like, you know, like it kind of ties into one of those things. My favorite days of the year are February 15th and November 1st. You know why? It's the day after the holidays. It's the day after Valentine's Day and the day after Halloween.
Well,
that's
but okay, for a lot of people though.
Yeah.
But okay, but for people though, it's like, okay, younger, it's going trick or treating. That's a huge thing. You get older, it's typically partying. But for one, I didn't care for trick or treating, nor do I like to party that much. So it's just like, what's the point of the holiday? Like the movies are cool, yes. Like I know, you just know I'm a quote unquote introvert, but like I just don't care to go out and party and like drink and do all that. Like I'll do it with my boys and all that. Oh hell yeah. I will like more than enough like hang out with you guys, but like I'm not gonna go out of my way to have a party or anything. So Halloween to me has just never been a big deal.
Yep.
But the movies are cool. I definitely like the movies. I like the feel of everything. But it's just never been a pivotal holiday. I'm more on the side of like Halloween and Thanksgiving, because generally towards that, especially because again I like do a lot of sales stuff like that. So people are typically more happy and more inclined to get stuff, and it's easier to sell to people, let alone like I don't have to worry about customers like getting super angry and over the top at me for, you know, something very, very small. So it's like it's a much better time, it feels generally, because again, Christmas on top of Thanksgiving, it's generally a lighter mood, it feels like, you know. So that's why I care for Thanksgiving more than it is stressful too. A lot of people do. There is that other side of the coin. But like, I just think Thanksgiving is a lot better. But again, I like food more, so I'm very food incentivized, even at work.
Fat bitch.
And so, well, you just talked about it too, you fat bitch. What are you talking about? So I think I'm on that same. I'm on that same page. But I definitely enjoy the because my grandma makes like the best stuffing, and oh my god, like I can't wait this year for that shit. You know,
that's the only reason he goes around.
Yeah, he's like, fuck grandma, give me you fucking turkey and stuffing. That's all.
Literally, like I roll up. All right, thanks. You know, like that's. I mean, yeah, but. I think Halloween's just never been like a big thing for me. I know some people it's like the biggest holiday for them, fuck everything else, but that's not me. I don't know why.
Yeah, I mean,
I do know why, but
I don't know about y'all, but like I grew up in the middle of nowhere. I don't have. I mean, Seth, you saw where I grew up. I didn't move out of that place until I was 12, and even then, I still lived there half the time because my parents were split. But like, I grew up in the middle of nowhere, so trick or treating was like, you know, I had to go into town. It was like a whole thing, you know, and it was like
trunk or treat. You were a trunk or treat kid.
Yeah, I was a trunk or treat kid. Like I would go to the church and there'd be like 12 people and they'd give me like a fucking Tootsie Roll and that was it. You know. And,
okay, but Tootsie Rolls are gas, all right? Don't just be downplaying Tootsie Rolls. Okay. Tootsie Rolls are gas.
No,
all right.
Listen. Calm down. We're gonna argue over this here in a little bit. We're gonna argue this a little bit. But yeah, I mean, like, you know, I grew up in the middle of nowhere, so like, you know, Halloween was just kind of those things where like I saw my cousins, you know, like we got dressed up, we go over to my grandma's and she'd give us like a, you know, little Halloween basket, stuff like that. But like, yeah, it was just,
it wasn't anything big, you know, like it was very small, nothing big pivotal happened. Bear hasn't spoken much about it. So what are your thoughts on it, Bear? You've been quiet on that.
On Halloween?
Yeah.
Like I said, I hate Halloween. Is
there anything in particular that makes you hate it though?
Religiously, I think it's demonic, but
okay.
I don't know this. I'm not a fan of it.
Yeah. We can leave it at that.
But I'm not a fan of it. I'm like Silver said, I'm very much introvert. So going to somebody's door and knocking on it, going trick or treat, on my feet, give me something.
Okay, did y'all ever ding dong ditch on trick or treating though?
No,
I know Jay, you probably never did.
Listen,
but I did that, and it got in trouble one year.
Listen, I was the kid that when I was in high school, like I kid you not, I was trick or treating when I was 15 or 16. Being all my friends, we would dress up in the dumbest costumes we could find, and we go trick or treating. And all the people were like, "Aren't you guys a little old to be trick or treating?" We're like, "Nah."
I'd be like, "Hell no, bro."
We were like, "Nah, I don't know what you're talking about." See, but when I got older, I was like, "Yeah, maybe I want to hand candy out." Well, I live in an apartment complex. No kid comes to the apartment complex. No. I feel me as a little kid, I would probably see an apartment complex and be like, "Fuck, I can make bank here." And I swear to God, no kids. I've lived here. I moved into this apartment complex in 2012, May of 2012. So it's been 10 years of Christmas. It's gonna be a 10th Christmas. It's gonna be a 10th Halloween here, and not a single kid has knocked on my door asking for candy.
Are you upset about that or something?
I mean, no, I'm not upset because that means there's more candy for me.
It's more candy.
I'm just conflicted. There's like I don't know the main, I don't know the main takeaway from here. Like this is what I'm trying to get
that
at.
no one wants to knock on my door for some candy, but at the same time, my fat ass is like more candy for me.
You just sound so uptight about it. Like I'll fly up there, man. I got you. I'll be your first person to go trick or treating. Don't you? I'll bring Bear with me.
I'll see you tomorrow.
Yeah,
I'll see you tomorrow,
Bear,
boys.
Me and Bear are flying out.
I'll go get some popcorn balls and some
bet.
fucking Swedish fish and Snickers.
That's plenty. I'll take all the Snickers. Swedish fish too. Anyways, though, so now that we got that out of the way, so we all generally know we're on the same page pretty much that Halloween is very mid at best.
That's perfect.
We all actually did a candy.
By the way, that's a really hot
rating.
take to say Halloween's mid because the people of our generation love Halloween.
Because a lot of people like to party and do all those stupid shit, but again, we're not on that
Party,
same page.
drugs,
You know, yeah, stuff like that.
alcohol.
We're not on that same page, so it's like it's
I
a
don't know
very
about you,
it's an
man.
excuse for a lot of people to party and get together and get in costumes and I want to say certain other words, but get together is a nice way of putting it, you know. And again, it's another rabbit hole we could go down to, but I'm not that way, so I don't like the holiday, you know.
Well,
I'm gonna
that's
rant
fine.
about
So
it. I got you.
anyways, we're on a tier list of the candy. We all did tier list for our candy. So we
Okay,
can stop
here, hold on.
Sorry, top to bottom, or we're gonna look all.
I'll
or you're
share
gonna
my
send it to
screen
us
so
all?
you guys can see. I'll share my screen
Okay.
so you guys can see. We'll make this a little bit easier. This is gonna be a little bunk looking on the podcast, but it's fun. All right, so Bear's first, just in the click here. All right, Bear.
I didn't add a couple of them, by the way, because I've never had them.
That's
like
no, that's
three I've
fine.
never
That's
had.
fine.
What did he? I want to see what didn't he have?
The four that you
Dude,
have were like
no. Okay, we have to go top to bottom, but there's a lot of D tier that I am
Okay,
so
all right,
pissed about.
Listen, you need to state your case and defend this bitch. All right, so I'll go ahead and read them for the people that are listening. For the people that are listening and not watching the podcast. So this is Bear's candy tier list. In his S tier, he has Jolly Ranchers, Skittles, Sour Patch, Swedish Fish, and Starburst. There's a clear theme here. A very clear theme here.
This guy does not like chocolate.
This guy hates
I
chocolate.
can't eat chocolate.
Wait, you can't eat chocolate?
No.
Oh, okay. So,
Why? Lactose?
I'm allergic.
Okay, so that's valid.
Makes
Okay,
me
never mind.
understandable.
So I don't feel so
That's
bad now. At
understandable.
first I was like, this dude is a fucking loser and doesn't like anything fun. And okay, that's respectable now because originally
Okay,
I
but
was
look, if
thinking,
you don't like chocolate, though, let's be real. Why the fuck are sweet tarts in B tier? Come on now, sweet tarts are bomb.
Wait, what? They're in B
Sweet
tier?
tarts are B
Yeah,
tier.
okay,
Sweet
okay,
tarts
so
belong
there should
in
be A
or
tier.
S.
We'll keep moving
It was
on.
on my
Alright.
phone.
So now we got this kind of out of the way. All right. So his A tier is Haribo, or well, we'll just say Gummy
Haribo.
Bears.
Haribo.
Shut the fuck up. Airheads, Warheads, the Extreme Sour. Those things are heat. Three
Well, it's
Musketeers,
amazing.
Rolos, Twix. I got some Twix.
Rolos
on
are
these.
so good, bro.
Rolos are great.
know.
Milky Way, and then his B tier, he's got Snickers,
Don't
Baby
belong there.
Ruth,
Don't belong there.
Sweet Tarts,
Don't belong there.
Butterfingers, 100
Lower.
grand,
Lower.
Hershey's.
That's good.
C tier, he's got Crunch, Dots, those little
Lower.
gumdrops. If you don't know those, are.
Disgusting.
Reese's Cups,
Doesn't belong there.
Kit Kats,
Way up.
Whoppers,
Staying.
Almond Joy. Shut up, Seth.
Lower.
You're really throwing my roll off here. York Peppermint Patties, Tootsie
Those are pretty
Rolls, and then his
Mm.
D tier is M&M's, Junior
Fair.
Mints, Peanut
Fair.
M&M's,
What the fuck?
Blow Pops, Milk Duds, candy corns, and candy pumpkins.
You
which
don't
I'm
like
sorry.
candy corn?
No.
If you like
Oh
candy
my
corns
God.
or those candy pumpkins, you should.
like a
Jay,
couple
Okay,
of
candy
them are
corn
good.
and candy pumpkins are
Prison.
so good. Actually, you're good. You know
Prison.
what I'm
No.
Prison. You deserve to go to
No.
prison.
Yeah, he does.
He also
No,
has
no, but I'll make an
mounds-
argument.
Is that wait?
Well, let him
wait,
read the
are y'all
last two, and then
are
I'll
y'all
make an
being,
argument for that.
Yeah.
Racist?
Okay, so the last two are Mounds, Twizzlers, and Dum Dum Pops.
Okay,
Like
okay.
Suckers.
I've had
Yeah,
mounds
yeah.
like a couple of times, so
They're an argument for the pumpkin and candy corn. Like if you pair them with peanuts, like salted peanuts, then I could move them up a little bit. But by themselves, they're just like you can eat a
It's
couple, and then it's like
they're
I'm
really
good.
sweet. They're
It's
really
horrid.
sweet.
It's just
Yeah.
like you're eating like just chewy sugar.
Sugar,
Mhm.
yeah, they're really, really sweet. I'll give them that. But they're like,
It's
but they also
disgusting.
have a certain flavor to them. That's why I like them a lot. So
Well, they taste the same too.
Okay,
There's
but-
no difference
Okay,
between
so
them.
everything I wanted to
Sure
quiz
sure they
you
do,
about,
Bear. Okay,
and-
sure they do.
but everything I wanted to quiz you about and roast you on with the chocolate is is invalid because you're allergic. So I can't
Yeah, you're
fucking
gonna make
say anything.
fun of somebody
I
with a
can't make-
disability.
I can't make fun of your S
Yes,
tier
exactly
now.
what we're gonna do. That's exactly what we're doing.
So I'm just gonna, you know what? At risk of ever offending anyone, this is an
We're gonna
amazing
spit
tier
on you.
list.
We're gonna spit
Thank
on you,
you.
kick you while you're down, all the good stuff.
All right, so here's mine, and mine,
Dude, this is disgusting.
you're disgusting.
Swedish
this
fish is not F.
Swedish fish are way up there.
This
You are
is-
Yeah, I
wrong.
didn't even wait.
No.
Go back to mine.
You had Swedish and
I didn't even
S tier.
have an F. I didn't even have an
Yes.
F.
Yeah,
didn't make an
I
F.
changed. I added an F. It's fine. It's fine. You did it on your phone.
I
It's
added.
fine.
I added.
Oh,
I like mine.
Anyways.
Mine looks so much better
Seth
than
has the most entertaining
So-
out of all. Of them.
Skittles, bro.
So
You got Skittles
so
and
this-
Swedish
no,
fish.
everyone shut up. This is the definitive tier list that anyone should ever
No.
follow. I am
You should
correct
never
and
back
everyone
this
else
up.
is wrong.
You should.
I
Why are
have-
milk duds on B tier?
I have in
I
the
think we
S
need to
tier.
kick this guy from here. dude.
Literally, vote to
every-
kick one of
Blow pops
two.
as A
listen,
tier.
let me
Butterfingers is
present my
S.
case, sirs.
Butterfingers are horrid.
Not horrid,
Snickers
but
is
still.
an
No,
S
they
tier.
are horrid.
Everyone, dude, bro, I swear to God, if I can't talk, I'm gonna lose my mind.
Okay.
Okay,
Well, let's
so
just hear you talk and rattle
This
them
is
on.
also for the listeners. They need to know. They can't see this. You know, some people.
Swedish
some people
fish
are just
is
listening.
F tier.
All right, we'll
Stop.
get to it. We'll get to it. All right, so in the S tier, I got Snickers, Butterfingers,
That's
Reese's, and 100 grand. I stand by this. 100 grand, that may make me an old man. I know it's kind of
100
like
grand are
not a
definitely
lot of-
older.
100 grand, it's the chewiest fucking
Remember.
thing ever. You're gonna hurt your fucking jaw chewing on it, but there's just some. I love 100 grand. You can't beat them.
Why weren't jawbreakers in these motherfuckers?
I
Jawbreakers
don't
kind of
know.
go
I
hard.
used to get jawbreakers a lot.
Yeah.
but
I like those
Anyways.
sour ones.
Yeah.
In my A tier is Mr. Good Bar, which you don't know what Mr. Good Bar is. You're missing out. It's the most.
I did
basic,
not have
It's
that.
so good.
It's
Mr.
one of the
Good
most
Bar is so
basic
good.
candy bars ever. It's literally just a Hershey's bar with peanuts in it, but it's so good. Like it's hard. You
That's
can't.
why. That's why I
peanuts
thought
and
you didn't.
chocolate is kind of one of those things you can't really
is
beat
it?
it.
Do you not have it
Haribo
in
gummy
here?
bears. Haribo gummy bears. Dude, you can't go wrong with a gummy bear. Which, to be honest, gummy worms are missing on here. Gummy worms are better than gummy bears. I
Agreed.
stand by that. But I would put gummy worms underneath that also. Anything
can have
gummy is
crackle in there.
delicious. Crackle. I don't know what a crackle is.
Oh, but it's crunch, but Hershey's.
Well, I've never had it. I can't rate it if I never had it.
Okay, that's what I was saying. I didn't know
Also,
what
in
it's
my A tier, I have Sweet Tarts, Milky Way, Blow Pops, Peanut M&Ms,
Blow Pop?
Starburst, and Kit Kats. Blow Pops are one of those things. I don't even like Blow Pops all that much, but I always loved on Halloween getting a Blow Pop, and the green apple ones were just absolutely delicious
green
to me. when I was
apple
younger.
are
was
good,
it.
but then the green apple are good. The watermelon, all of them are actually pretty.
Yeah, they're all.
I,
Ah,
know,
yeah,
I know
I guess I
you don't
didn't
like
think
cherry
about that.
stuff, but the
was
watermelon's
thinking of
amazing.
Dum
Cherry's
Dums.
good. The grape one's
No,
really good,
see,
but you
I
can't
have-
say anything
I
about the
have
grape one with
something to
me.
say. I have a case behind some of these. So in
I
B
was thinking
tier,
of Dum Dums.
in B tier, I have Jolly Ranchers, which is Jolly
Amazing.
Ranchers are great. I think Jolly Ranchers are great, but it's
Yeah.
super inoffensive. So it's not like I'm not like, oh, I love Jolly Ranchers, or I'm not like, oh, I hate Jolly Ranchers. Like it's like, oh, I got a Jolly Rancher, nice.
Yeah, it's not gonna go to, but I'm not gonna go
Um,
to. Man, I usually do go on my way to buy them, but still.
Crunch bars, same logic behind Jolly Ranchers. Airheads, same logic. Milk Duds, I think Milk Duds kind of suck, but they were always
they
kind of one of
suck,
those
though.
things. Milk Duds are kind of one of those things that it's like, I don't know why. I love to get them at movie theaters and eat Milk Duds when I'm at the movies, so that's why they're
Milk
even
Duds,
on
that's
B
right.
tier. I think Milk Duds are pretty
they're
decent.
so
Like they're
good.
not horrible, but they're not great either. Warheads, I mean, Warheads are great, but I never got Warheads very much on Halloween. They were kind of always like I went to like the corner store down the road and got some
Yeah.
Warheads. York peppermint patties, I hated those as a kid, but as an adult, I love York peppermint patties. I love peppermint stuff.
There's
Sour
a food
Patch
place
Kids,
that
Dude,
always
that tells
hands
me
those
your
out.
your
What's
taste
that
buds
food
have quote
place?
unquote matured.
Yeah, York.
That's
If
what my
you start
dad eats is
enjoying,
York patties.
if you start liking York peppermint patties, you know you're getting old. Sour Patch Kids, that goes without saying. It's
love
not
them.
it's not a Halloween candy though. Some of these ones that got put in B tier are not. They're good.
No, Sour
candies.
Patch Kids are now.
Are they?
They have those
I
teeny
don't
tiny
remember.
ones.
I don't remember ever
Little
getting
small
Sour Patch
packs
Kids
feel
as a
like
kid. So this is
6
just me thinking back.
Right,
So
you
a
not
lot
get
of
the little like square pack of them? Or it's like
Yeah.
5 or 6 of them. in
I
there.
never,
you never
dude,
got that.
you got to
Yeah.
realize I'm old. I got Hershey bars and Snickers. That's about all I got. I grew up in the middle of
Okay,
nowhere.
old
I,
man.
I
My
had
bad.
farmers feeding me stuff. Okay,
Are you sure it's almost bedtime?
Here's some
Roll-
wheat, boy.
right.
Here's a
Rounding out-
cob of corn.
Rounding out B tier, I've got Rolos and Twix, which are almost
Twix
the
are
same
disgusting.
thing. Rolo
They
is
are
just a
the same
longer
thing.
Twix with a cookie in the center, and they're both really good. But I love
They just chopped
Twix
up a
bars.
Twix and put them in a, in a
Literally,
big bag.
like they took the cookie out and said, "All right, chop it up. We got leftovers." C tier, Baby Ruth. I hated Baby Ruth growing up.
Baby
And
Ruth
I've
is
never,
so
I've
much
never
better.
eaten a Baby Ruth since I was younger. Maybe I would like them as an adult. I hated
If you like
Baby
Snickers,
Ruth
if
growing
you
up.
like Snickers, Baby Ruth are just like chunkier nuts.
I'm sure I would like it now, but I remember growing up. I hated Baby Ruth when I was growing up.
Oh, Baby Ruth are so good.
Plain M&Ms.
But isn't a Three Musketeers like a Baby Ruth?
What are the nuts?
Yeah.
Yeah, so
M&M
why would you
plain-
not put
I don't like them. I like the nuts. I like the crunch.
Plain
nuts?
M&Ms are just
Yes.
I got plain M&Ms in C tier. They're just boring, useless
Yeah.
candy. It's
Okay,
it's,
but I wish
when
they had the mini M&Ms because the mini M&Ms are fucking
mini
gas.
M&Ms hit
They're
different.
so good.
but-
Yes, they're
But
so
just
good.
normal ass plain M&Ms is just it's boring. I mean, it's just
Yeah.
boring. Dum Dums is one of those things. When I was making this tier list, I was talking with Seth, and I was like, it's not. I don't hate Dum Dums. I don't like Dum Dums. They're just kind of there, like they exist,
Yeah,
and that's kind of how they are. They're
a
kind of
human had a bright idea and it just didn't work.
Yeah, and it's like, you know, something you got from your teacher when you got like an A on your test or something like that when you're in elementary school, you know,
Did
like,
they like tape it to the corner of your test as well?
yeah, stuff like that, or like,
What?
oh, you know, you
Y'all got
aced your
that?
spelling. bee.
Yes, they would like tape it
What?
to the corner of our tests.
Paydays.
We never got-
Paydays. I'm realizing when I'm making this test tier list, Payday, I overrated the fuck out of Paydays. That is one of the worst candy bars ever made.
Never had a payday.
It
Payday is okay.
it's just peanuts, is what it is. Peanuts around a
I was
chewy
gonna
log.
say.
It's a chewy
A
log
chewy log.
surrounded by peanuts. That's the way I can describe it. It's terrible.
You want my chewy log?
Oh my god, shut up. Okay, so in the D tier,
Sounds good.
in the D tier, we got Three Musketeers and Dots, which that shit goes without saying. That's some of the worst candy you ever put on this earth.
Dots are not
Bro,
like
dots
bad.
are horrible, bro.
Dots-
Dots belong
Yeah, they're
in the F
bad,
tier.
but they're not
Okay,
horrible.
Dots
so
are
then we
horrible, in
got
my
Junior
opinion.
Mints and Whoppers.
The fact that he
Whoppers,
put dots above Swedish Fish, though, I'm gonna have to throw down with you on that.
I'll get to that.
Fucking
So
crazy.
Junior Mints and Whoppers. I mean, Junior Mints are fine, but that's kind of the same boat as peppermint patties.
They're old.
You're
Yeah,
old,
peppermint
you're
patties,
old if you're
though.
liking them. But I don't
Whoppers
like
leave
that.
a nasty taste in your mouth.
Junior Mints have that weird like
They do.
York peppermint patties is like a soft chocolate. Junior Mints has that weird like it's chocolate, but it's like it's crunchy chocolate. If that makes sense.
It's like,
I
it's
don't
like
know
a
how to
shell.
explain it.
You know, you have
Yeah,
to
it's like
bite
a
the
shell.
shell.
I don't
Yeah.
really care for that. That's a texture thing. It would probably be on the same place as York if it weren't for that. Whoppers goes without saying. If you eat Whoppers, I'm sorry.
Whoppers
jail.
are so gross.
You deserve to be put in the gulag. Skittles, I
I'm gonna
don't
call
like.
up my brother.
I don't like fruit flavored things. I've never liked Skittles. The only Skittles that's worth eating is the fucking what is it? Is it the
Apple.
orange Skittle? The orange
apple
Skittle is the
orange.
other one. Twizzlers. I don't hate
Apple Skittle.
Twizzlers.
What the fuck?
I honestly don't hate Twizzlers that much, but it's just such a boring candy.
There's
just
the
a
bites.
boring
The strawberry
candy.
Twizzler bites are so good.
I was gonna say before we move on, but for Twizzlers, did y'all like those colored fruit ones?
They're okay. I
Or, like,
always like. Do you ever
Smoothie or
have?
whatever?
No.
You ever have the sweet and sour ones where it's like a cherry and a lemon?
Yes.
Those ones are again. They're filled with that like
Yeah.
Yeah.
like that
those are
goop.
really good ones.
like that goop, whatever it is.
The gobbler
Those are good. I'll go out of the way to eat those. But other than that, Twizzlers, Tootsie Rolls
Yeah.
suck. I have a lot of nostalgia associated with Tootsie Rolls. With Tootsie Rolls, my grandma always had Tootsie Rolls, but it's still a sucky ass candy. Heath bars, I'm sorry, you are If you enjoy Heath
Did
bars,
your
you're 90 years
grandpa
old.
give you
You
his
are
Tootsie
90
Roll?
years old. You are 90 years old if you eat Heath bars. Hershey, I'm sorry, it sucks. Just straight chocolate is not good. Straight
What do you mean?
boring ass chocolate is not
OG.
good. No, it is not
Bruh.
good.
It's an OG. It's good. I'll give them that.
Nah,
It's good.
nah.
And it just
F
melts
tier.
on your mouth.
Listen,
they have
listen,
Hershey
my-
Like
syrup.
Hershey's,
Like,
you
come
can use
on.
Hershey's for like everything, bro. Like a s'mores, you
You never had chocolate milk as a kid? Hershey chocolate milk?
yes,
Yes, but that's not a chocolate bar, is it?
It is, but it's essentially the
Is
same
it
thing.
a chocolate? No, it's not. Is it
The
a chocolate
scents
bar?
are the same thing.
It's not a chocolate bar, but it's from Hershey.
Oh my god.
And
That's like saying
Where do you think
dude,
they
there
got
was
the
a
syrup?
time. There was a time when I had Hershey's salsa once. Does that mean it's the same?
yes,
No.
chocolate salsa.
Case
okay.
in point, we're moving on to F tier. F tier. This is the definitive F tier. If you guys disagree with the
No.
rest of it, it's fine. F tier is
No.
candy pumpkins, candy
No.
corn, mounds, almond joy, and Swedish fish. I stand by
Swedish
those.
fish are
Nope.
so much better than that.
No, almond joy and mounds. Coconut is the worst fucking thing ever. It
Coconut
smells.
is the worst thing.
Coconut smells amazing. I'll be honest. I washed myself. I got a coconut scrub. It smells amazing. I love.
He's talking so much shit about coconut. I got a coconut scrub.
It smells good. Coconut has the best smell, but to eat that shit,
It's gross.
It is
It's
pretty
like-
bad.
it's
Those
like
flakes are
eating-
disgusting.
it's
Yeah.
I don't even know how to describe it. It's got a gross texture. It's got a gross taste. It's just icky.
It's
And I'm
not
sorry.
fun. It's not
Swedish fish
Swedish
is
fish
the
are
most
so good.
overrated fucking
Bro,
candy
get
out of
ever.
here.
It is
Oh, God.
Pick up.
terrible.
Moving from the voice
Horrid.
chat.
Dog shit.
Moving
I
from
would
the voice
rather eat a
chat.
shoe. I would rather
Let's
eat a
move
shoe.
on without him.
Eat it. Do a shoey right now.
A shoey. I don't have any more
Yep.
beer, so
Well.
maybe next time. All right. So
all
this
right,
is
all right.
Seth.
My turn. Let me say. Okay. So my
God
tiers are
tier.
different.
Backups,
So we
bucket,
got we
barrel,
shut up back.
magnets.
We got God tier. All right. We started off with some Snickers.
Man,
Can't go
you're
wrong
really
with the Snickers
generous
bar.
with this list.
Baby
Jesus.
Ruth.
Yeah, right.
Can't go wrong with them
Mid.
mofos.
Top heavy.
Can't. Yeah, it's top heavy because again I typically like them. Milk Duds,
Says a
obviously
lot about
God
Seth's
tier.
weight.
Sweet Tarts, God
This man put
tier.
Milk Duds in
Sour
God
Heads,
tier.
God tier. Skittles, God tier. M&M's, Starburst, Blow Pops, Reese's, and Kit Kat. All those.
Everything but Milk Duds.
Any day,
I'll agree on.
I would go with
Yeah,
those
Milk
all
Duds
day
is
for God
The
tier.
only one that I will argue on, I can
Some
see
people
the
don't like
logic.
chewing on them as a Milk Duds though, but
I
everything
can
else
see
I'd say
the
is pretty
logic
good.
behind your top tier, but Milk Duds are terrible.
I love
You
Milk
can break
Duds,
a
but that's
fucking
just
tooth
that's
on
just
that
me.
shit.
Yeah, Milk Duds, I can't see that, but I just like all those are really good. Now, like all together, I wouldn't like if you had to, but separately, really good. Good backup stuff. None of those were available. The pumpkin candy cane pumpkins, I like those. There's a lot to it. We all
Disgusting.
don't.
It's like chewing on wax.
I need to kick you
Yeah,
both.
okay.
for-
I like those. But Jolly Ranchers are good backup. Gummy bears. The Rolos are gas. I actually like Paydays. I haven't had too many, but Paydays are pretty good. Tootsie Rolls and then a Good Bar.
I've
Those
never
are
had a
pretty
Good
good
Bar.
baakups, I would say. Good Bars are good.
The
Tootsie
only
Rolls.
one-
I've always
the
had Tootsie
only
Rolls. My
outlier
mom's
here-
always given me Tootsie Rolls. Are really good.
The
But
I
only
feel like
outlier
some
is
of these-
I like the candy cane pumpkins though.
dude, it's like
Candy
it's
cane Warren,
literally
Candy
like
cane Warren.
listen,
Okay.
Mike. I don't know about y'all, but my grandma used to get these little tiny little pumpkins when I was little, and they were wax. They're made of wax, and they were like a candle, right?
Would you
Ate
fucking eat them one time?
You
on
ate
accident or
'em.
something?
No, I never ate one of those on accident. But if I were to eat one, those
This
candy
motherfucker accidentally
candy
ate a
corn
wax pumpkin.
those candy corn pumpkins are exactly what I would have imagined growing up. Was those little fucking wax candles? It's disgusting. Moving on.
Why are you eating a pumpkin that's made out of wax? What's wrong with you?
Lots wrong with it.
That's not even. I'm not even.
Okay,
Carry on.
anyway.
Well, I was gonna say, I
Anyways,
feel like our
though.
lists are based off of like a lot of childhood stuff too. Because
Well,
like,
yeah, my
Tootsie Roll-
Roll,
childhood.
that's
Yeah,
kinda what it
Tootsie Rolls.
is,
I
I
got a
mean.
lot from my mom. Paydays.
Yeah.
I never had too many paydays, but Rolos I always got from my friends and everything. Gummy bears, you just can't go wrong with gummy bears. Jolly Ranchers,
Yeah.
same thing. Can't go wrong with those, but they're not like they don't have that oomph factor to go God
That's
tier.
everybody.
And
for
then-
a couple
but
of
yeah,
those,
But
But,
then
like, all
the
the
candy
old ones and
corn
stuff are, like-
pumpkins, those I just like those because I don't know. I've always
like some with
I
salty
like candy
peanuts. Oh my
corn.
gosh.
yeah.
so
So,
by
but then,
themselves,
yeah, that whole two. I mean, those are all candies I've had like not really attachment to, but like they're all like good. But on the fuck it tier, if there was there and I was like in the craving, regular candy corn. I mean, why not?
These are
I'm
just.
not,
in the bowl.
I'm not the biggest Crunch Bar fan, but like if you put a Crunch Bar in like the freezer or something, gas. I love like really cold Crunch Bars. I don't know what it is. M&Ms, I honestly could
Just wanna
probably
break
put
it
it
deep.
lower. Same thing with Hershey bars. I like them a little bit colder. I think they're much better. 100 grands again. They're mid tier. I'm not like a big fan of them, but I'll eat them. You know, Crackles are really good, but I prefer a Crunch over a Crackle.
So
And then Twizzlers and Twizzler and Sour Punch. Sour Patch. I don't care for them, but I'll definitely, like I said, it's fuck it. I'll eat them. You know.
Yo, wait here. Hold on, real quick.
Um,
I want to piggyback on the Sour Patch Kids. What's your guys' favorite flavor of Sour Patch?
Has to be like the red.
Blue, the
Red or
red,
the
or
green?
the orange.
Blue's good.
Okay,
Orange
I
good.
can't with
Blue,
lime.
I
anymore,
mean, blue
dude.
is everybody, but it's red or green.
I can't
The
with
blue-
like
Hands
lime
down.
and lemonade or lemon anymore because of COVID. COVID like messed up my taste buds, my smell and stuff, and like
Yeah.
it still hasn't gone away. So all
I
like
haven't had Sour Patch Kids
citrusy
in
stuff
so
just
long.
tastes weird.
I haven't had Sour Patch
So what?
Kids
So
so long.
what about like Sprite and stuff like that? How's that?
Oh yeah, it
Same
tastes like
thing?
dust.
Really?
Really?
Yeah, it tastes like
How is
dust.
it like dust? That's interesting.
I know exactly
like
my
Sierra
point. How does it
Mist,
taste
like,
like dust?
Sprite, all that stuff is just not good
Dust,
anymore to you.
Coke. Like the only things that I really drink now are Dr Pepper and root beer.
Dr. Pepper.
Of course
stuff.
you
What
drink
about
Dr.
okay? I know
Pepper.
we're going a little bit off the tier list
Yeah,
here.
yeah.
We should also
Oh,
next
yeah,
time
okay.
we should have done like a soda tier list, but like
We got to do pop.
Dr. Pepper cream soda. How would you rate that, Bear? That's an important one.
Together,
Like
No,
Dr.
no,
Pepper
the
cream
Dr.
soda.
Pepper
That's a
cream
whole.
soda.
That's
I would
yeah.
say Dr. Pepper and then cream soda. I've never been really like.
No,
I felt like
the
No,
Dr.
Bear.
no,
That's a drink. It's Dr.
there's-
Pepper.
have
It's
you
like,
ever
that's
it's
what
like
I
cherry-
said. You mean the
it's-
Dr.
it's-
Pepper? Yeah, together. I actually
Yeah.
I didn't mind it.
Okay,
I
that's
love
really
it.
okay.
It's my
I love
favorite
it.
thing
It's so
ever.
good.
Like,
I was
Yeah.
addicted, and then I drank too much of it, and then I was kind of like, I just.
I haven't had too
That's
much
fair,
of it.
that's fair.
I'd honestly, I probably have. It's between that and cherry Dr. Pepper. I don't know which one I could pick.
Oh,
It's
bro,
one of those.
cherry too.
Cherry Dr.
Ooh,
Pepper is
cherry
so
Dr.
good,
Pepper's
but
kinda
same
mid.
thing with cream.
kind of mid.
Cream soda
It's not
and
my
Dr. Pepper is so
favorite.
good. Anyways, though, off that
Cherry
like,
cream
side
soda.
thing, I'm not a big cherry cream soda fan of this, but so the next tier below, fuck it though, for me is sure I'll snack on this, and that's the the junior little mints. Again, texture kind of fan like Jay said. I don't care for the shell. So you Musketeers, I've always kind of hated those low key.
But they're like
in
Baby
Milky
Roots.
Ways. Yeah, but I don't know what it is.
just-
I just don't care for them. Like, I bite into them.
like
it's just
a
like, whatever.
marsh-
It's
like
just
a shitty
yeah, it's
marshmallow.
weird.
Like,
Airheads, Airheads and Dum Dums. I don't. They're mid candies. I mean, they don't probably deserve to be that low, but they're just. I've had so many of them. I don't care for
Yeah.
them anymore. You know, like it's oversaturated. Now, Swedish Fish should be higher. I don't know why I put it here, but Swedish Fish are really good. And
Terrible.
Heath bars are again oversaturated. And they've always managed to sneak their way into my sugar treat bag. I don't know fucking how, but they always manage the
think-
way they're in there.
I think
And so
with
that's why I
Heath
don't like Heath
bars,
bars anymore.
If you like toffee, you would like a Heath bar.
Yeah,
I'm
I
not a big
guess.
toffee fan. The only way I can enjoy toffee, y'all ever have Toblerone?
Nope.
Tobo, what's up?
Toblerone.
Toe?
It's like a is it Swedish?
I don't know.
It's a European chocolate, and it's got little bits of toffee. It's not like Heath bar is like a strip of toffee
Yeah.
dipped in chocolate. Toblerone has like little tiny bits. It's almost like you're biting into peanuts. Almost is what it is. Like it's like just a little tiny crunch. It's good, but just to straight up snack on fucking toffee, like just a fucking bar, is just
I don't
not
know.
good.
Like, yeah, that's why I like Heath bars. And the next tier below the sure I'll snack on this is if the only thing left was there were Whoppers, Butterfingers, Twix, or the York bars. I eat them. Now York bars, after I'm talking about it, I put it a little bit higher. They don't deserve that. There's a restaurant around here that I know that actually gives you like mini York bars after everything's done. Those are really enjoyable. But Twix,
like
I've always hated. I've always hated Twix,
thing,
and but
like
yeah,
almost
it's kind of
like
something
a
like that. I've always
Yeah.
hated Twix, Butterfingers, Whoppers. Whoppers is just a nasty, like it's a crunch, and then they leave the nastiest aftertaste.
The
It's
chocolate
so
doesn't
disgusting.
taste
so
real.
low.
Yeah,
Twix
yeah.
tastes good.
I hate Twix. I never cared about. I've never been a Twix fan. I don't understand the hype between Twix. Same thing,
So-
Butterfingers. I don't like these. I don't know
I
why.
don't know,
I
Twix-
don't
You
like
you
these
like
bars.
peanut butter though, don't you?
But it's just how it's not pronounced, but like the
How it is
presented?
presented.
yeah, it's a presentation of Butterfingers. I've never cared for it. And like
yeah,
I don't know
yeah,
when I bite into a Butterfinger, it doesn't feel the same or taste the same as like a Snickers or a Baby Ruth.
I don't
And
know.
so that's
I
why
don't
I
know.
don't care
It's
for
not
it.
what you expect when you
is-
find
Yeah,
I will
like
say
and when you break it down, they're the same ingredients, but its presentation's off for me. And so that's why I
Butterfinger,
can't stand a Butterfinger.
If I have to critique Butterfinger, they do that weird little thing that where it's like it happens a lot with caramel, where it gets stuck in your teeth. It's
Yeah.
tacky, you
I,
know.
I wouldn't know. I haven't had many. So
It's one of those things where it gets tacky, like it gets stuck in your teeth almost. Like you ever have like when you chew on like a peppermint, almost like it gets that weird like
a little bit.
in
Yeah,
your teeth where you can kind of feel it there. It does that.
Mhm.
If you're gonna make me critique Butterfinger, I will say that
that's what it is. Okay.
that's definitely annoying.
All right, left Twix or right Twix? How are we on there? If
I
you're gonna
don't give a
dig
fuck. Give
deep
me.
into
I'm
that.
fat.
Bro,
Let
just
me eat a
put it in my
fucking
mouth.
see the
Twix.
Twix. Honestly, okay, that's fair. That's fair. So
That-
then
that-
trash
that
tier,
marketing campaign
absolutely
is
trash.
stupid.
There is no ands or buts. Dots are disgusting.
I agree.
Mounds are disgusting,
I agree.
and almond joy are disgusting.
It's a
Like,
coconut
same thing
thing.
Jason about almond joy.
Above.
All
Love
those
that.
are all disgusting. Dots again. That's the absolute hands down most oversaturated ass candy. I wish
I agree.
somehow that fucking candy didn't sneak its way into my bag. I never ate that.
Gumdrops.
I
in
gave it to my
general.
little sister, and she liked them for some reason when she was younger, and I was happy so that the abomination of a candy got out of my face. Hated them dots. Mounds are okay, but again, they're still
It's
trash.
coconut.
Almond
Coconut
Joy
sucks.
Almond Joy are fucking coconut little pieces of shit, and I fucking hate Almond Joy. Can't stand it. No, I like other coconut things, but coconut flakes and how they do it is so gross. Cannot stand it. So that is my tier list, though. Again,
Yeah,
like,
no,
as I said,
I agree with
little
that.
top heavy.
Yeah, yeah.
I give a little more praise. You know, a little more generous with my likes and everything.
One of
but,
these days we'll do
you
we'll actually taste some of the stuff and then we'll be able to live rate it. But yeah, I mean, the only tier list I think there's an abomination, honestly, is Bears. But
Bears is fair, but he has
Bear-
chocolate and all.
Bears
That.
was- Well, Bears was an abomination until I learned that he was allergic to chocolate. Then it's no longer an abomination.
It's an abomination in its own right. Okay.
But
Still love-
we still love Bear. Yeah, exactly.
Still love it.
Okay, so we kind of got into our little Halloween tangent, but let's circle back to a little bit more about Bear. So actually, I wanted to ask you some stuff about Vincere, since you are kind of the
Oh, that's secrets.
secrets. Oh, my bad. Goddamn. Anyways, shut the fuck up.
You're not my mom.
Where do you see Vincere in about a year?
A company,
Like in your mind.
a legitimate company.
Mhm.
I want to.
Okay.
I want to get this thing to an LLC. We start finding investors and we legitimately try to put out content and merch or something. Because
Mhm.
I think once you do that, I mean, the sky's the limit at that point. You know what I mean?
It really is, yeah.
And I mean, you know what's funny is because I critique 100 Thieves and it's basically like all the big ones that are like, oh, we have 100 some odd people that have given us money, right?
Yeah.
But it's I'm kind of realizing like you kind of have to.
Yeah.
Well, but FaZe Clan and 100 Thieves, like they used to be really good with their community and everything, right? Like
Mhm.
really, really good. But
I would
especially
say
FaZe
100
Clan,
Thieves
mind you,
still
I
is
really
good with
don't
their
like
community.
I don't like FaZe Clan because they're just turning into a clothing brand.
Mhm.
Like I really like, I went back, man, flashback to last episode in Siege and everything. Like their Siege team one year did insanely well, but you didn't see a glimpse of that on the Twitter
Mm-mm.
page. It was nothing
Mhm.
about them doing well. It was like, oh, check out our new merch, and it's like, my guy,
all
like, do you
CS:GO.
not
Weren't
they
realize
literally
your
in the
team is literally
finals?
yes, like your team is doing insanely well, but you're not actually giving them the proper viewership. I mean, we all
Mhm.
know FaZe is a household name, regardless if you
Yeah,
know
everyone
games or
knows
not.
FaZe,
Everybody
like-
talks about phasing up or quick scoping. It's always FaZe and Optic, but yet they're not like helping their teams out, and that's why I don't like them as much anymore. So
Yeah, no, I agree. They're pretty bad about their esports and stuff. All they like is the CS:GO team. You see everything CS:GO.
Yeah.
Which is unfortunate because like they're Rocket League too. I went to Worlds for Rocket League and I saw maybe just a couple of posts about, oh yeah, they won, they're on to quarters or whatever. It's
Mhm.
like, dude,
bare minimum,
you got like
and that's
two
it.
of the best players
Yeah,
on
a lot
in
of
the
that
fucking
stuff
world.
is kind of cringe how they kind of just ignore it, and it's like, when you and it's kind of like if that was kind of the standard in quotations for orgs, maybe it would be a little bit more okay. But when you have teams like, I feel like we talk about I feel like we're like G2 dick riders at this point, which we kind of are. But you know,
Kinda
you
are.
have orgs like G2, you have Dada's Vincere, you have all these different orgs. Team Liquid, EG, they're repping their teams, like they're
Mhm.
like the G2 definitely like they actually started that trend about a year ago, maybe it was less than a year ago, where they started on their Twitter banner. They would update their Twitter banner weekly and it would have all of their esports teams schedules for that week. So like if there was like a CS:GO major going on, it would be like, like IEM Catalyst, this game this day at this time and this day this and like when MSI was going on for League, that was the only esport that was
but you very
active.
could tell what's going on and everything,
like
right?
and they were always tweeting about there was which I know that is G2's culture also is memeing and stuff like that. They were
which
was memes
sorry,
being
by the way,
posted.
sidestep. League of Legends but League of Legends things. DRX just beat Genji 3-1 and are going to the finals.
That's actually impressive as hell.
DRX just pretty much
T1 for the
3-0
finals.
Genji
That's insane.
and won and are going to the finals. Def's Last Dance versus Faker. Huge thing. We'll go on that more later,
can
but
get
they
back to
literally
that one when
just
Bear
won
hops off.
at this point. They just won
Rigged.
right now. It's a huge thing.
Rigged.
Good shit to DRX and everyone over there. Anyways, back
We'll hop back into that one when Bear gets off the podcast.
League sucks.
You just suck at League. That's
No, League is a
but
bad esport.
anyways. We don't really have to circle back to the point that we were just making because we were pretty much done with that anyways.
Yeah, no, we don't.
Let's shut don't tell me what to do. This is my podcast, bitch.
I own the
anyways,
podcast. What do you mean?
Shut up. So well, we kind of already got the Vincere goals out of hand. What like is your like at this moment in time, not all time, at this moment in time, what's your favorite game to play?
Rocket League.
Rocket League, of course. I hate Rocket League.
Only because I'm super invested, dude. I have almost
I
like
know,
2,000 hours. That's like been my
I know.
game for the past however many years, you know.
No, I know.
That's what happens when you end up befriending only Rocket League players.
No, I understand. That's the way we were with Siege. Which actually leads me into a question I was going to ask you about. What is the Rocket League community like? Because I don't know much about Rocket League. I followed Oxygen for like the tiniest little bit of time because I was an Oxygen fan in R6, but like overall, I don't know jack diddly squat about Rocket League.
Like I want to know more about the esports and everything, but like the only team, like Jay said, that I knew because it came to Siege was OXG, and that's about it.
And
I know like G2 has a team.
Anything.
Didn't G2 win almost win a finals or something like that? Or am I dreaming that?
Bro, they were considered the number one team in the world
Okay.
for the longest period of time. And G2, like they went to the finals and worlds, but they got absolutely stomped by BDS. So
I gotcha. So it's not very different from Siege.
Yeah, right. But
actually, and
Rocket
League, because
community?
we lost to BDS also this split.
Jeez. I don't know. BDS, I don't know much about BDS, but I keep seeing their name. Maybe it's time to look them up a little bit more.
BDS. So if you want to know a little bit of background, BDS actually started out in Siege. Right? I'm not dreaming that, right, Seth?
I want to say that's definitely one of their first teams.
That was definitely the first big team that they had, and they had a player called Shaiko, who is probably the most mechanically. He's controversial,
but he's very controversial.
Probably the most mechanically gifted. There were better players, really like record-wise and stuff like that, and how they perform internationally. Mechanically, he's probably the best player to ever touch the game. He's got a lot of controversy around him. A lot of people think he's a cheater because
he was a cheater. He was proved to be a cheater.
Yeah, he was
not exactly, but he was proved. He got banned for a year.
He got banned for a year because there was a macro that got picked up on his PC when he was playing. It was 7, right? Was it 4 or was it 7? 7's the landmark thing. 4 is Strikers, and 7's the landmark thing. He was, for some reason, randomly throughout the matches, his 4 key would get spammed, and the anti-cheat picked that up, and he got banned for it. And so that's kind of why he's a controversial figure. They never figured out why.
So what was the 4 key? What is
the 4 key in Siege was nothing. So no one knows what it was, but there was definitely a macro.
What if he has a nervous tick or something?
There was.
I'll sit there and spam like.
The assumption was that basically there was a macro being spammed that he rebound the key to something, and they don't really know what. But anyways, that's a little bit on BDS. BDS, I know they eventually moved into CS:GO, I believe, and then Rocket League, and now they actually just at the beginning of this year bought into League. They bought the Schalke Esports spot, and they have been the worst fucking League of Legends team. They are terrible, but we still lost to them, which is disappointing. But anyway, circling back to Rocket League,
they spend millions of dollars on shit.
Dude, we our roster, it was whatever. The way we lost to them was really disappointing and stuff like that. But anyways, back to Rocket League. What's the kind of like the grassroots and stuff like that? Like, how does it work? 'Cause I know you play in leagues, don't you? Right?
Yes, I do. And there's actually like kind of multiple different grassroots depending on how you want to look at it.
Mm-hmm.
For example, like right now I have pulled up. It's called MLE Esports.
But is there like a very obvious pro scene, right? Like there's
yeah.
I always broke it down because other people will do like league. There is NA, EU, Korea, and China. Like how does the big head work versus grassroots?
Big head versus the grassroots.
Yeah, like is there a stark distinction between regions for one, and then is there like tiers?
It's nothing like League where they have like different companies for this. Like what I mean? Because how y'all were explaining it, you were saying like it's LCS, this is. It's all the same thing. It's all I'm blanking on what it's called. RLCS, which is the championship series, Rocket League Championship, right? And basically, they play by region. So NA, EU, Oceania, SAM, and then on the regionals, I forget how they do it. I'm not quite familiar on how the layout is. I want to say it's Swiss. That's the one, right, where you go, if you win, you move this way, and the winners play each other, right? And it's based on like same record.
Yeah, like Swiss, everyone has a chance, but like, I think that Swiss is what you're describing.
Yeah, I believe it's Swiss because I have it in the Vincere server. If you go look at it, you can see
Yeah.
they post updates and stuff.
Mhm.
So they play it as Swiss, and then like the top however many teams end up going to the championship. They have to win their region, obviously, right? It's super simple, and it's actually kind of boring. A lot of us, a lot of the community disagrees with how RLCS does.
So it's not like a point system. It's like you just have to win your region.
I think it's both. You can win a major or a regional, and then can also based on points, based on like how you perform in like big tournaments, small tournaments, because there are like smaller tournaments that they compete in that are considered RLCS. What do you want to call it? Trusted or whatever, and they'll get points for playing it.
Okay.
But yeah, I don't like how they do it. I think it's kind of stupid. I think that all esports, in my opinion, and it's not just Rocket League, need to have some sort of open format to allow more growth, or have a better grassroots system to allow more teams.
No, I definitely agree with that because, like, in traditional sports, it's you play in high school, you do good in high school, you get scouted by college, you go to college, you get scouted when you're in college, and you go to the NFL, the MLB, you go to the NHL, whatever,
basic stuff,
Yeah, that's kind of the traditional pathing. In esports, at least from my experience, it's a lot of just who you know and if you're in the right place at the right time.
Well, it depends on the game though. Well, like League, that's what I like because like if you're a challenger, typically a lot of people kind of will scout some challengers, but it's also kind of who you know. But at the same time, League, it's like with Siege, you've had to kind of be around. But like if you're a champion, but you're a higher champion, you can kind of get noticed. But still, that's not the only way. You have to go through channels. There's typically a lot of channels. League, there isn't more straight up channels to kind of go through. It's kind of like getting scouted, being good enough.
Yeah, I mean, like you see that with
consistently
players.
Top 100, players. Overwatch, I don't know actually how Overwatch would do it. There's grassroots or Overwatch. I've seen grassroots. Overwatch actually has a pretty good grassroots system, it seems.
Yeah, they have like proving grounds and stuff like that where you can like play up. And it's like you working out almost for
and so if I'm not mistaken, so that's
here's the thing is like when you have to buy a spot, right? Because R6, don't you have to buy like a what is it, a license or something?
Siege has changed a lot over the last few years. So the way it used to be was you would play in like your tier 3 leagues, right? You would pay like but $10.
Also bounce off that too though. Like franchising, you have to buy your spot. That's
but Siege wasn't franchised, which is actually, in my opinion, one of the biggest mistakes they ever did. They were actually, in general, I disagree with franchising, but I think Siege was actually an esport that needed to franchise, in my opinion. But that's another conversation. But with the way Siege worked was like for NA, for example, and every other league worked the same. It wasn't. There's North America, EU, and then APAC, North and South were the regions, and there was Latin America. But they all operated pretty much the same outside. I think Latin America has a little bit of a different way of the way they did things. But the way it worked, you had your North American Pro League, right? So that's your top players, that's your Oxygens, that's your TSMs, stuff like that, right? And then you had Challenger League, which was, there were some orgs that were actually pretty well known that were actually invested in Challengers League. Like one of them was what am I forgetting the team? Mirage. Mirage was a Challenger League for quite a long time, and they eventually became a North American Pro League team. But like while they were still a Challenger League team, they actually owned a league team that was in a second tier division called the LFL in League. But so like to get in a Challenger League, basically you would play like your tier 3 leagues, right? Which was like like we used to compete in like DA League and stuff like that, all these different things. You pay $20, goes into a prize pool. You play a regular season, then you play a playoff, basic stuff. Yeah. And you could get recognized throughout that. Like we played in a couple of the ones where we were playing against the like Challenger League rosters or Challenger League level players. But to get in a Challenger League, you would have to basically put your team into a bracket, and there would be a big bracket with, it used to be like hundreds of teams, but like as Siege Esport kind of started dying, it turned to like 40 and 50 teams, but that's just kind of the progression of Siege. That's nothing to talk about.
Was that all teams though? Like even the best teams?
It was all. So it was the team. So there were teams that were already qualified to Challenger League automatically. But in general, like that was how you would get in, is you would play your way through the bracket and then you would get put into Challenger League. And normally the teams kind of stayed the same for the most part. You still had to keep playing your way in Challenger League, but if you were in Challenger League, you're pretty much going to stay in unless you dropped like there were times that like Challenger League teams would lose their players to Pro League teams. Like Pro League teams would buy like their like 3 best players, right? And sign them onto their main team. And so that team would kind of get fucked over, but for the most part, if you make it Challenger League, you're probably going to win. There was an open bracket and then a closed bracket. If you were already in Challenger League, you get put into the closed bracket. And to get into the closed bracket, you have to win the open bracket, and then you have to win the closed bracket, and then you get put into Challenger League. That way, it's like the top certain amount of teams get put in Challenger League. And then, so Challenger League would play, and it was basically a double round robin, if I remember right. And then it would get seeded into a playoff for the Challenger League. And if you won the Challenger League playoffs, once you went from the Challenger League playoffs, you would play the bottom ranked North American team that got sent to relegations. And if you beat the bottom ranked North American team in a best of 5, you would become a North American Pro League player. But I'm pretty sure they changed it, and that's no longer a thing now. And they're trying to make Challenger League is basically like a scouting grounds for Pro League teams. So it's going to be like TSM has a Pro League team, but they're also going to have like a TSM Academy in quotations in Challenger League.
I don't like that.
Talking about for League or talking about for Siege?
For Siege.
Yeah, I don't like that.
See, that was the last time we were in the scene. That was over a year ago. That was the rumor is what was going to happen. I don't know how it is now. The only thing that I remember for sure is that relegations don't exist anymore. And so, which would make me assume, so don't take my word for it because I'm not in the scene anymore, so I don't know what's going on, would make me assume that if they took away relegations, that they basically started making these teams associate with a Pro League team. So it was more of a scouting grounds than an actual, like, you know, you play your way into the Pro Leagues.
But is there any money earned? Because I feel like that money's just going to end up.
There is money earned.
Then it just ends up going to the Pro League team. I don't like that.
That's probably is what ultimately would happen. But the nice thing about that is because Challenger League did require a lot of time. Challenger League happened off and on throughout the week, right? And a lot of these players weren't getting paid, and if they were getting paid, they were getting paid very, very poorly. Like not a lot of money at all. Like I know if our team had made Challenger League, none of our players would have been playing for money. Like it would have been just because they wanted to play, right?
Right.
So that is something that when you do bring something like that into the equation, it does allow you to be basically a semi-pro and be able to make a little bit of money, because a lot of these guys that play in Challenger League, at least in Siege, they were, you know, college guys that were either taking a break from college or they were in college at the time that were just, you know, they were really good at the game, so they were seeing how far they can make it kind of thing. Anyways, I got on a really long tangent there.
Anyway,
about that,
so besides that, though, since we all know Bear, well, I don't think we made a statement yet. So Bear's a Texan, just like me. So
Oh yeah,
since you're a Texan, Bear, and much like that, we hold pride in our barbecue. So, what is your favorite cut, and what do you find is a true cook of a meat of a steak per se?
I am a.
Like, if you were to go get barbecue right now, what is your first to grab, and why?
That is a good question. Does burnt ends count? 'Cause I've had some burnt ends. Okay, so burnt ends and what is it called? I wasn't expecting this question. It was just kind of out of the left field. Like, hey, barbecue. So here's
because we have to break free from the tone that we were going with esports. So might as well go with the barbecue aspect of it all. So, and you're a Texan, so you can't get past it. It's an important question, as all Texans are typically known for quote unquote barbecue boots and cowboy hats. Come on now.
So, like I said, burnt ends and then ribs. I don't know.
Okay. Now, barbecue sauce. You like it more sweeter, more of a bite,
or the mustard? You got the mustard and vinegars in the
there's that too. Yes, to say how would you prefer it?
Man, it depends because I feel like depends on who, like the place you go to. some don't have very good bite, quote unquote, bite type of barbecue sauce, and some have like really good. Would you say sweet or something? I forget.
Yeah, there's sweet and savory. There's like, it's a
Spicier.
stereotypical barbecue sauce, right? It's very sweet. That's why people don't like barbecue sauce. But then
Memphis
there
style,
is
basically.
there's a barbecue sauce that has a bite to it, where a little bit more heat, it's slow burn, whatever it be. And then there's a mustardy base where it's more, I won't say savory, but a little bit more savory.
It's like a Carolina, dude.
Yeah,
I'll go ahead and say
it's
it
like a
now.
mustard base. It's very, very nice.
The Carolinas have their own style of barbecue sauce.
Yeah.
There's Eastern Carolina and Western Carolina. I can't remember which is which, but one's a vinegar base and the other one's a mustard base.
Yeah.
Fucking delicious. That's my favorite way, is either of the Carolina style barbecues. That's my favorite way to enjoy barbecue. But
Texans, I think we typically stay with more of a bite or more sweeter.
Yeah.
Because our meat typically has, I don't know how to explain it. It's how we make our barbecue. How we make our barbecue is very different than other people.
Oh, that was what I was thinking of.
Yeah, it's our brisket. But if you don't like brisket, but a brisket isn't a brisket for one. If it's bad without barbecue sauce, your brisket has to be fire without brisket or without barbecue sauce. And the bark. If you have bad bark, it's a bad brisket. You have to have a really good bark.
White bread. If you don't bring white bread, you're
or Texas toast. Texas toast is really good too.
Or Texas toast.
So yeah, but like the brisket for me, you have to have amazing bark. Like you have to see like hands down really good bark.
Y'all eat a lot of brisket. A lot of
a lot of brisket.
What the fuck is bark?
The bark?
I grew up poor, so I have like
it's the outside of the brisket, the part that's like the crispy part, basically.
So like
that's the right way to explain.
A little bit like burnt ends.
Yeah, burnt ends is basically the leftover parts of the brisket, like the parts that you cut off when you're trimming down the meat and stuff like that. If I remember right, I don't know. Maybe I just pissed off like every barbecue person ever.
But it has to have a good bark. But you know that the little line that you get, I don't know, it's not considered the bark, but that is that little like pink red line on the brisket.
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about? That's kind of essentially with the bark. So it's that piece. If that's not good, I don't want it.
Yeah,
that's typically a lot of people are that. If the bark is good, or like you're rubbing everything for it, since that's what the bark is. It has to be good.
This is going to be the most important question you've ever answered in your life, because it's going to determine if I want to be friends with you beyond this conversation. How do you like your steak cooked?
Has to be pink in the middle. I'm not talking like the outside's pink, but the outside's got to be a
We're
little
talking
bit
about
brown.
a cook here. A cook. Yeah. Give me a cook.
Like when you're at a steakhouse.
I don't know what it's called.
Do you go into a restaurant and ask for
like
rare,
I told you, I'm fucking
medium
poor,
rare,
bro. I grew up poor.
Medium well, or well? What of those 5 do you ask for?
I pulled up the thing. I like the medium rare.
Medium rare.
Medium rare is good.
Man.
Yes.
Good man.
Medium rare or medium, you don't go above medium, hands down.
Yeah, even medium though, I would dare
medium
say.
Medium is pushing it. You never go above medium. If you go medium well done, you do not like anything with the steak. You don't know what you're doing with the steak. Never cook a steak well done, because that just sucks everything out of it.
Yep.
It's like when you go to a restaurant, you pay $20 for
a well done steak.
Yeah.
Literally, it makes no sense.
There's a nice steakhouse here in Columbus that's like it's like a $40 steaks, like you're paying $100 a person kind of deal, right?
Yeah.
And she will go and order like a $40, $50, $60 filet mignon.
And get it well done.
And get it ordered well done. And I'm like, order a fucking burger.
And
don't get me wrong, I love my aunt. So if you're listening to this, I'm sorry. But goddamn, eat your steaks good. Eat your steaks rare.
Even in burgers, they need to be the same way, medium or below. Burgers are so much better that way.
There is the argument where because it's ground up beef, bacteria can still live in the middle, but I don't give a damn.
There's so many things like that.
Well, because with steak, the bacteria is only on the outside, but if it's ground up, there's air bacteria can get in between. Exactly. I don't give a. Give me a little bit of pain.
I've never gotten sick off of burgers, bro.
Exactly.
Actually, I take that back. I got sick because it was so fucking well done that it just sat on my stomach like a motherfucking brick.
Yeah. I'm the kind of. I've been eating burgers, medium rare, my entire life, and I've never gotten sick once. So
wait, cheese or no cheese?
Depends on my mood.
But typically, I would like some cheese, a little bit of cheddar or anything else.
Big sliced
I'm not the biggest American fan, but I will have American, especially with like a burger.
Yeah,
about pepper jack. Do you like pepper jack with it?
Dude, pepper jack is if you don't like pepper jack, get the fuck off of this YouTube video or stream or whatever you're watching it on.
Yeah, like you can't go wrong.
Just kidding.
Jack.
Please listen to us. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe.
I mean, it was overall though. I think barbecue / burgers, it's medium or below. Take it or leave it. Like don't go above that. I mean, if
And
it's
don't
like
do
someone's being
rare.
nice,
Nothing.
if
No
someone's
rare.
don't do rare, yeah, don't have a
I
blue burger.
wouldn't just like done.
Yeah, I don't go
If
there and
you're
ask
doing
for a
rare, I'm
blue.
walking
Like,
out.
I might as well at that point go and start munching on the fucking cow.
Right?
Like, just go out back real fast and start just going to town on it, So don't want it rare by any means. Or like I mean, certain steaks. There's like, what's the cut? There's one cut of steak where I'll have where it's just a hard sear. What is it?
There's so many cuts of steak. You'd have to give me a little
That's
bit
what I'm
more
saying.
than that.
I don't know that it's when I go to the Brazilian steakhouse every year, and they literally only do a hard sear on it, and it's the most fantastic thing.
Excuse me.
But I don't know what cut it is. But have you ever had rack of lamb? That's another thing. I don't know if you've ever had rack of lamb before. That's
No, but I've always wanted to try lamb. I've had lamb like in a gyro, like
Oh,
a true
bro.
gyro has lamb in
Have you
it.
ever had rack of lamb, Bear?
We need to all go to Austin, and I'll. Oh,
What are you?
fuck, Austin.
What are you?
Texas.
No.
We need to go to the city of Austin,
He said
right off
Austin,
the
yes.
6th Street.
Is
dude.
that not your name?
There's a food truck that does euros. Oh my
I
gosh,
thought you was gonna go
lamb.
about the rack of lamb or something. Not
Nah,
No, we were talking about
Dude.
lamb and euros. You got me on the.
Gyros are amazing.
You're
Oh
amazing.
my gosh, especially from that food truck, dude. That's the only place I will ever eat lamb. I
God,
think.
dude, shut up. I'm hungry. I already had
You
dinner.
want like
Goddamn.
rack of lamb is good though.
I
If you
still haven't
never
had my
rack
pizza
of
for
lamb,
dinner.
I would say you have rack of lamb, especially if you haven't tried it. It's really good.
What is
Really,
rack?
really
Is
good.
it like a rack or rib type of thing?
I'll send you a picture after the podcast.
Yeah, rack of
Okay.
lambs are.
I'll just look
good.
it up.
Rack
It's
of lamb is
Yeah, go ahead and
it's
look
like
it
a big thing for people.
Yeah,
You
it's
know,
like it's
it's
served
quote unquote
like
more. It's
I don't
more
know how to explain
expensive.
it.
But rack
It's
of lamb
definitely
is
bougie.
really good.
It's definitely
Rack
bougie.
of lamb is really, really fucking good though. It's like, I think that's what the cut is. It's a tomahawk. A tomahawk that has a little bit of a hard sear. It's so good.
Yeah, tomahawk's good. Okay,
You can't go on a tomahawk.
do you have anything else you want to bring up, Seth? With Bear, we have more to talk about, but with
so-
Bear,
as well with Bear, since it's in
Your
here, might as well
podcast is
touch
be
on
like
it.
3 hours
So,
long.
Bear, how do you feel about garden gnomes? That's a question from Jay, not me. And
Garden?
I don't know the context behind it.
I
How
don't-
do you
bro,
feel
I
about
don't
got
know
one
the
in my
context either.
closet.
all right, that's all we need to know.
Why do you have a garden gnome in your closet? That is the most creepiest thing you could do.
It's a Cowboys painted one. I got it as a gift.
But that's like having like that elf on the shelf. I don't know how y'all feel about that. We'll get onto that.
Oh, like,
But elf on
Yeah,
the shelf
well-
creeps me out.
We can talk about that
So,
towards
yeah,
Christmas.
that shit creeps me the fuck out. I have no clue why, but it just does. So, I think that is about it.
Yeah, we
For
definitely.
Bear, honestly, we touched on esports, we touched on Rocket League, some good stuff
don't
on there
touch
about
Rocket
you.
League, it's
Definitely,
toxic.
we definitely want Bear to come back around. But if everyone else wants him sooner, definitely let us know. But that's about all that I know.
If you want me
I
to
wanted
run the
talk to him
podcast, hit
about.
me up.
We can also,
take over for
before
a
okay,
week.
back to barbecue real quick. Sides. What are your two sides you can go for barbecue? Real quick.
I mean, you gotta do corn.
Okay.
Just
because-
corn,
and
not
it's
corn
gotta
pudding?
be,
Cool,
it's
but
gotta
corn,
be
but like
Wisconsin
cream
sweet
of corn, no cream of corn on the
No,
cob.
on a cob.
Okay,
Okay.
okay.
That's
So did
valid.
you grill it?
Yes. grill it.
Okay, good. Okay,
Some
okay.
Veloce?
Second side.
And
Mm.
mac and cheese.
Yeah.
That's
Okay,
kinda-
that's
valid.
fair.
That's valid.
I could sub the corn for like potatoes, like homemade potatoes or corn casserole, and it'd still be good. Mac
corn
and cheese
pudding's
is
the
bonus.
best.
Oh,
Corn
what the
pudding's okay.
fuck?
That's corn casserole, you dumbass.
Corn pudding's okay.
Corn pudding and corn casserole.
So corn casserole, I haven't had corn casserole. Corn casserole is definitely a good substitute.
Delicious.
And
It's
then
sweet. It's really
mac
sweet,
and cheese
though.
is always needed. Mac and cheese is hands down like Velveeta shells, so good. You
Uh,
can't go wrong with
yes.
some Velveeta shells. on
dude,
there.
Velveeta, nacho, whatever. Oh,
Yes, hands down. Anything
Shit's
Velveeta essentially is really good. Even though Velveeta may not be cheesy or whatever, it's so good. So,
All right.
anyways, that's all the questions I had for Bear. So,
Okay.
if Jay, do you have anything
So,
else for him?
Well, let me give Bear his little red carpet. Go ahead and drop your socials. Go ahead and plug whatever you need to, whatever you want to for Vincere, because I know I'm going to forget to probably plug it at the end of the podcast. So I'll leave that to you, what we've got going on this week, what we've got upcoming.
I think, yeah, Bear
things
should
like
remind
that.
everybody what we got going on.
So
you said tell the Vincere socials, but I don't even know if the Twitter handle has GG in it or not.
well, it's fine.
Drop
Don't
your
go on the
socials,
socials.
too.
Yeah.
You're promote
And
your
I've
own
changed my
socials, too.
socials recently
Okay,
too.
okay. Hurry
I
up.
got you. I
Let's
got
go,
you. I got
Bear.
you. Yeah. Go ahead and follow Vincere Esports. It's on Twitter at Vincere Esports.
It'll be linked below also in the description if you're watching on YouTube.
We do updates. We post giveaway winners. We post updates for obviously like we're having Fall Guys and Among Us. Post new members.
Nice.
So everything ends up there. It also has the link tree. Link tree has all the other socials. So that's really it for that. If you want to follow me on Twitter, I think it's Panda Demos.
It is. It's at Panda Demos. We'll link it below.
Yeah.
We'll link it below. I got you.
Demos.
I got you.
Demos.
Sorry.
Like demolition. Demo.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh my god. But yeah,
Alright.
that's all my socials. And then we already covered what's going on this week. Tuesday's Among Us modded, and Friday. That's at 9 p.m. Eastern, by the way, for you two.
Okay.
I think both of them are at 9 p.m. Or 8 p.m. for Among Us on Tuesday, and then 9 p.m. on Friday. That's how it was.
Good deal. All right.
Yes, sir.
Well, thank you for coming on to the podcast. It was a
keep me from this
pleasure
channel.
as always. Pleasure
Thank
as
you, Bear,
always.
for coming by as always.
I'll probably see you in 20 minutes for Call of Duty if you're still on.
I'm not playing this game.
Okay,
bro.
all right.
Well, yeah, we'll definitely see you in 20 minutes. You said that same thing last time, but we saw you. So it was a pleasure, though, having you on, talking with you about these
Yes.
things, for sure.
Yes, thank you. Hopefully next time I come on, we have more exciting stuff going on for me. So
All right, get out of my voice channel.
hey.
Get out.
Okay. Anyways, though, so on other matters, though, so much love to Bear, though, big man. I've known him for almost a year, I would say.
Damn, really?
Very enjoyable. So, well, I wouldn't say almost a year, maybe it's been at least 9 months, though. I would say roughly.
Yeah, it's
9
been a
months or so.
considerable
It's
amount
been-
of time.
It's been some time, though. But I mean, overall, very enjoyable. I wouldn't necessarily obviously say to his face, but I would, just for the joke. So, very enjoyable guy. Definitely go check him out. He's a really good owner. I'm technically a co-owner with him on the org and everything, but he's a lot of fun to talk with and hang out with. He's a really good guy, truly at heart. And so that's why I'm really excited about Vincere, because I do feel like we can do a lot of good things. And even doing little things like a podcast already is a lot of good stuff. So go check him out. Go give him some love. And yeah.
Hey, like I said, his links will be down below. We'll have links to everything down below.
Yeah. Amazing guy though. So
On
anyways,
YouTube.
on to the important stuff.
The meat and bones.
DRX just beat Genji. How do you feel about that?
I mean, I think it's great. I mean, I said when you and I were talking earlier this week, I don't really care who wins now because it's
Now that we're
Korea.
on that topic, go to your pick'ems and let's see who was correct and who was incorrect.
God,
I'm
my
pretty sure
pick'ems
we
are
had the
gonna be
same
ugly.
pick'ems. I'm pretty sure actually I picked DRX for my pick'ems. I want to say I picked DRX.
So for semifinals,
I picked DRX.
I picked T1 and Genji.
I picked DRX. I picked T1 DRX. I believed in the Deft Last Dance, and I was correct. And now I have more points.
So I'm gonna make the pick right here on this video. I'm sharing my screen. I'm picking T1. I know that's the favorite pick, but if you watch that series with T1 and JDG, you cannot tell me that it is written in the stars for Faker to win another title.
I
the
could say the
way
same thing
he
though
is
about
playing-
DRX.
Listen, I know DRX is playing really well. I think their top side is a liability, in my opinion, outside of Zeka on their top side. I think their top side's a liability still. But I don't care who wins. I really don't care who wins. I'll be happy no matter what. Because if T1, it's like I've said, when T1 wins, when Faker wins, it's hard. Everyone wins.
It's
Like
hard not to
it's
root
hard
for him,
not to
yeah.
be happy when Faker wins. And Deft, that guy has dedicated his life to League and has not been very successful. He won one world championship, and that was a long time ago, right?
I don't think he won.
Did he not win? Did he win? I can't.
I think this is on poor. I'm pretty sure he got close. He's never gotten past quarters.
That's right. He was
He's
cursed.
never gotten past quarters. Yeah.
And that was always his curse.
But
he's
he's been alongside everybody. Like he's been alongside bigger
He made
names.
his debut the
out
same year
there.
Faker did, so he's been
Yeah,
around
but
just
like
as long.
he's a big name. He is a amazing, good, consistent ADC player. Like you cannot go wrong with this guy. But Zeka right now, and it was said by LS on Twitter, mind you, that Zeka is playing absolutely out of his mind and one of the best performances out of a mid laner in years.
It's
out
insane.
of
I mean,
Worlds.
like
he is honest to God putting people like Chovy to shame. Chovy is known for the past 2 years in Worlds not to lose lane. Well, mind you, I have some other things I want to say about that guy. But Chovy's good laning phase. Hands down, he will beat you with his wallet is a good way. He'll always outfarm you and always be first to the roam. But Zeka told him no for 4 games and gapped him in lane, always had a CS lead and always had more of an impact. And that's just hard to do against Chovy.
So I just want to go ahead right now and like, don't get me wrong, DRX, like Deft is DRX and DRX is Deft. Like that's who a lot of their personality and stuff like that revolves around is Deft, since he joined the team back in 2020, right? If I remember right, or 2021.
I want to say something like that.
And so I just want to list the amount of mid laners that Zeka has played in this tournament, which, mind you, DRX started in the play-ins, so they've had a very long route. So now they're in finals against T1. So, and he never lost to these mid laners. Keep in mind, he got gapped in individual games, but there was overall, he gapped all of these mid laners. Xiaohu, Froggy, Saren, Seiya, Niski.
Niski's a good one.
Xiaohu and Niski are both really good in that list. In group stage, Zeka gapped Larson, Caddy, I forget how to say his name. He's PCS or whatever.
Yeah,
Knight.
Knight's okay.
Knight's really good. We know Knight's really good. Knockout. Zeka has gapped Scout and Chovy. Now he has to go up against the unkillable Demon King and Faker.
I mean, like I said, he's been playing out. He's a young player. But he's been playing
18,
out
right?
of his
18 or 19?
fucking. He's almost bare minimum age that I play in LCK.
Yeah.
He is been playing out of his mind. Absolutely, he is like Scout. You saw it in the cams. Scout won the top lane. Got solo killed by Zeka, and it was very close. Zeka took the tower. He stayed in top lane. Scout came back, got killed again. Same thing, went right back, and Zeka this time dove him under tower and killed him again. Scout died 3 different times in the span of maybe 5-6 minutes, a little bit more than that, maybe, to Zeka, and it wasn't close the last 2 times. And on the camera, Scout was defeated. Scout was down.
And I will be honest.
Down.
Zeka didn't play very great against Scout until that game, but the game that it mattered, he fucking took over.
He came alive, but he's always been good in lane. Like, consistently across worlds, he has been having a really good wrap up. Like it's always said, and I don't know if I've read it from Dom, I've read it from LS, I don't know who it was, but every player typically peaks in worlds if they're able to hit their peak. And he is peaking at the literal perfect timing when you want to peak. Not at early, like in play-ins or groups and then falls off. No, he is peaking perfectly when you need to be peaking.
Yeah,
like
this is the best time to have a player play
like
his
this
best.
is when you need to be peaking in the tournament, and he's hitting his peak beautifully. Same with Deft. Deft's had a pretty good ramp up, and Deft's been playing out of his mind, but it's hard to go for Deft when you have someone like Zeka playing absolutely out of his mind. Like a fight looks lost, but then Zeka comes rolling up with a Kali and kills 3 of them like nothing.
Yeah.
You know, it's just incredible how this guy is.
And if you want to know how like unlikely this thing is for DRX, if you don't understand how SK works, is the way it worked out was that there was what did they call it? The stage that was like, if you lost in playoffs, you still had the chance to make it to Worlds. I can't remember what the name of it was off the top of my head right now. They have a name for it, but basically, if you lose an LCK summer playoffs, you're still in the running for Worlds. T1 and Gen G auto qualified, so it was basically 2 spots that were open to be grabbed at this tournament. Last chance. No, that's Valorant. Whatever. It's not important.
The way, DRX, they had to fight through.
DRX,
they had a long and hard journey.
DRX had under 50% win rate in playoff or in the regular season. They were not positive this year, like in summer season split. Right? They never beat Gen G in summer split. They did not beat Gen G. And they played through play-ins. They were not guaranteed in groups, so they had to go through play-ins. They had to go through groups. Then they had to go through playoffs, and they beat Gen G for the first time the entire year. Now they're competing. Now they have one more BO5 to win a world championship.
That's incredible.
It's just proof that there are some teams that just get better when the odds are stacked against them. In regular season, they weren't great. They weren't great in the regular season at all. Like they shouldn't be here by all definition. But because what was even the final? There was a game that they should have lost, actually, that they actually got gapped the entire game, but because of like one trolled team fight, they actually ended up winning because of it. And I can't remember who it was against. Was it against KT Rolster? I think it was a BO5 against KT Rolster that KT should have actually won because they were winning the entire game, but it was just one of those weird fluky things where they fought at the wrong time, at the wrong place at the wrong time, and it just gave DRX the chance to win.
Yeah,
And it's like, by all means, this team should not be where they're at. They should, by all logic and reasoning, this team should not be where they're at. But goddamn, do they play when it matters?
And they come alive and every player's peaking when they need to. They're just doing everything right, and it's an incredible feat. Where they're at. Again, it's like storylines aside, like it's hard to not want to win or have a win for DRX. It's hard not to want to win or a win for T1. Because DRX has a player like Zeka who's playing out of his fucking mind, and he deserves a win on his own. Like, the hands down, if Zeka isn't considered the MVP of Worlds in the entire tournament, I don't know who the fuck is, because Zeka is playing out of his mind. That's, again, everything aside, like, you cannot watch this guy in all of the games he's played and not say, God damn, I should be playing mid like that. Like, he is truly putting on a performance. And again, it's hard to win against someone like Chovy, Yeah. And he truly showed Chovy, like, he wanted the win. He wanted to win real fucking bad. And that was, like, again, very understood. But it's like they have Deft, who's his Deft's last dance. It's his last game. He's never gotten past quarters. He's now gotten past semis. He's in the finals. Again, like he said on stage, it feels surreal. And it's such a crazy road for them to have come this far. It's kind of like how G2 was in MSI. They had the crazy road, but it was all muddled and whatever. Not as far.
Yeah.
But like DRX right now, they have so many people behind them because they've come so far. And then T1, it's the same thing. That Faker, it's like you can't not root for him. Faker's around a ton of prodigies. Zeus is a prodigy in top lane. He is so good. This guy will solo kill you in a matter of seconds if you give him. You cannot give this guy an inch. He will ram you. It's crazy. Owner, same way. He is so smart. He will literally out macro you and out jungle you in so many different ways if you allow him to. It's incredible how good this guy is. Faker's just, we all know Faker. But then there's Keria and there's Guma Keria, and those two are such. I mean, this T1 roster is really good. Guma had a very slow start to the tournament, and honestly, coming off LCK, I don't think it was stated somewhere that he wasn't feeling very good. But right now, he's hitting his peak again, as we were saying before, and he's looking insanely good. And so I'm very, very excited for this finals, and I hope it's a 5-game banger.
I hope,
because I truly do think with how DRX's form is looking and how T1's form is looking, it can either be a swift 3-0 for T1, but I doubt, or it will be a full 5-game banger, and I honestly couldn't say who it goes to.
I just want to go over DRX's route to, their route to playoffs. So this team was 6th in LCK regular season. Okay. They were 6th in LCK regular season. They went 9-9, and they were 22-23 in overall games, actually. So they were negative in terms of games, because in Korea, they play BO3s. So they were 9-9. They were 22-23 in overall games, right? So they barely make it to the playoffs. They lose 3-1 to Sandbox in the first round of the playoffs. So they're out of the playoffs. They don't have a chance to win the Korea LCK Summer, right? So they get put into the regional finals, which that's the name of it. I found it. They get put into the regional finals, which is the lower bracket. So this is the bracket where if you lose, you're done. Your chances are gone. You have to win 2 best of 5s to even make it to Worlds, and that's just play-ins. They beat KT Rolster 3-2, and then they beat Sandbox 3-2, the team who knocked them out of the playoffs and qualified. That's insane.
And their run is great. Like, it's incredible how
even
it's if, quote unquote lucky they've gotten or anything. It's this roster.
If they lose 3-0 to T1, they should not be discredited for what they did this year. To go from 6th place regular season to they are top 2. No matter what happens next week, they are top 2 in the world, undeniably so.
I couldn't even imagine like a world where they go through all that and they're first. They like the first play-ins team to get through play-ins and then go all the way to finals and win the series. That's just so many things. They've come so far. Like DRX is just, again, it's so hard to not to root for them. Like, these guys have earned it,
Yeah,
truly.
And their play-in group wasn't anything to scoff at. I mean, they had RNG, Mad Lions, and Saigon Buffalo in their play-ins group, so it's not like they had a cakewalk group either. And they 5-0'd that group. They locked in. They didn't have to play the BO5. Like
they want to win it, and again, it's like all the simple like how Defs again. It's like these guys are showing up. They are clearly ready for a heavily contested, but like they wanted to play. They wanted to really put up
they
the best
really wanted
possible.
it. I mean, I just said that about their play-ins. Look at their group stages. They had Rogue and Top Esports in their group. Rogue and Top Esports were supposed to be the ones to won that group. DRX was written off by everyone. No one had DRX getting out of that group at all, especially after Rogue 3-0'd week one.
They thought they were going to be a third placer and be done with it, Like, but they come out and they win. They beat Top Esports in a tiebreaker, I want to say.
No, they actually what happened is Top Esports lost to GAM, and then it put Rogue in. And Top Esports got eliminated because it was that weird thing where GAM could have made it in, where DRX could have made it in, and Top Esports actually got eliminated. It was the way that group played out was actually really funky because Rogue 3-0'd week one, and then Rogue went and dropped an absolute stinky poo bomb. They only beat GAM that day. Yeah, they only beat GAM. Rogue went 4-2. They won one game after going 3-0, which that was like an awful like Rogue looked like shit in the second week of the round robins. Actually, Europe looked like shit in the second week of round robins, but we don't have to get into that. That's a whole other story. So who is your pick to win it though? Like, I mean, I know like feeling wise, I don't really care. Like, feeling wise, I would be happy if DRX won, and feeling wise, I'd be happy with T1.
I'd have to say T1.
Yeah, T1, I think
all of them consistently look so much better.
Yeah, I think T1's definitely the favorite.
On how the drafts are. T1 scares me with their drafts. Like,
T1 loves to make games so much harder on themselves
by drafting bad. If they draft bad one game, it's over for us. And so
I think this one's pretty clear cut. But who's your MVP right now?
And that hands on has to go to fucking Zeka.
Yeah, I mean, Zeka has just been. That guy has put. I mean, like there are a couple of games where he kind of laid an egg, didn't really do a whole lot, but for the most part, he's been playing out of his mind, and it's hard not to say that he's not the MVP. Even if they lose, you would have to argue that he's the MVP, right?
He's the MVP regardless. I mean, he is so good. Like
I think I mean, I guess if they lose and like he gets like perm gap by Faker, then it's like, okay, Faker wins MVP. But outside of that weird scenario, I think that's his title. I mean, I think even if he doesn't win it, I think the community would recognize him as the MVP if that is the case, where it's one of those things where like
genuinely he's been so
good. Not really much more to talk about with League outside of that. I mean, the T1 game was you and I had different feelings about the T1 game. I thought it was going to be a 3-2, but I mean, outside of the first game, T1 just absolutely rolled over JDG.
Yeah, I thought it was going to be 3-0. Should have been a 3-0, but we gave a game for some reason. It was 3-1. So
I thought T1 was going to win. I didn't think it was going to be that dominant. I thought JDG was. Maybe I was just buying into the hype of LPL, but I mean, I thought LPL was going to be better this year. I had a lot of hopes for LPL, to be honest. As much as I don't really care for that region, yeah, I think they're really good. I think Korea is plays a more interesting version of League of Legends. I don't know, maybe like. People think that Korea is boring because they just sit and they play like really clean League of Legends. They don't there's not a lot of mistakes, there's not a lot of fighting. They when they fight, they have like a very good reason to fight. It's not like LPL fights for a reason, but a lot of the time as a viewer it looks like they're just fighting for no reason. But Korea, to me, has always been, I don't know, that's actually interesting. Really clean macro is really interesting to me, more so than just like, this is going to be a bloodbath for 40 minutes. So LPL is a little bit of a disappointment, to be honest. But I mean, I'm not, it's very clear. Last year, this was
really good performance.
The semifinals.
RNG didn't make it.
Well, the semifinals is actually almost, in terms of the regions that made it, is a mirrored image of last year's semifinals. It was one Chinese team and 3 Korean teams. So it's the same this year. It's just the EDG. It was just EDG's year also. That they had a really good meta. The Yumi meta really was good for them, and stuff. And Viego was really good, and Graves is top and stuff like that. And it's not like it was an easy route either. I mean, they 3-2'd their entire way through, if I remember correctly. It's been a year now. I barely remember it, but no, I mean, I think T1's the favorite for sure, but don't be surprised I mean, be surprised if DRX wins because DRX shouldn't win. All logic and reasoning.
Actually,
Yeah, RNG didn't
clean up the LPL teams.
Yeah, T1 did. Yeah, I don't want to say don't be surprised if DRX wins it because by all means of logic and reasoning, T1 is the better team on paper. You know, they have the better top lane, they have the better jungle. You know, mid, Faker has definitely returned to some kind of form. And it's not like he's, in LCK, like regular season, I don't want to say he's not bad, but he wasn't like gapping. He was like a top 4 mid laner when he was playing in Korea. He was like, I feel like when I say that, like, it sounds like I'm calling him bad. He wasn't bad, but he wasn't doing a Chovy where he's up like 50 CS and just like ramming. Shut up. He wasn't going up like 50 CS and just beating the fuck out of you, right? Like he was, he wasn't the reason you were losing, but oftentimes he wasn't exactly the reason you were winning either. Like he was just a really solid mid laner. Right. Now that changed at Worlds. Like he turned into a totally different player. At Worlds, he is like, there's been a lot of the times that he is the reason they're winning these games. He's turning a lot of fights around, stuff like that. But in LCK, he was kind of just more of the, middle of the road kind of quiet, just, you put him on Ari and you're happy with that. Bot lane, I think Guma's probably favored, but I mean, you can't, Deft has, even though he's kind of, this is like Deft's last dance and he's retiring and he's an old man in quotations, the esports, you turn 25 and suddenly you're retirement age. But, Deft, has great mechanics, but Guma's probably still favored. And I think definitely they have the gap. 2U1 has the gap at support.
I just say it depends on the draft. And like I said, honestly, this and the entire game depended on draft. I think Guma and Carriup do better if we had to do FLEO. Who played per se like Aphelios Lulu better? It's Carriup.
It looks like Varus is gonna be something that is definitely.
Varus is definitely something that picks up. All right, Ezreal picks up. And I think a little bit more proactive ADCs is what Deft picks up. T1 likes to scale. It seems like DRX are very active. And I think that's what's going to be like the huge telltales in drafts. It's like who picks up what kind of draft and who picks up what style. If T1 tries a draft outside the comfort, they're going to lose.
The thing that scares me for DRX is their mid game, because that's where a lot of stuff does tend to fall apart sometimes for DRX is their mid game. And that's where T1 excels is their mid game. They're really good at, not even taking a kill, but like if you just put your players in the wrong spot at the wrong time, T1 is going to make a play off of that and it's going to like just ruin your night. Right. But yeah, I mean, I think it's kind of all we wanted to cover this episode, isn't it?
Just about, honestly.
Yeah, I mean, there's not really much more.
Thing and earlier, obviously, interrupt Bear because that's when DRX did beat Genji, which again, mind you, that was again, I can tell, very favored in Genji, which again, monumental to them. So good game. The DRX Genji had a good time, but a good try at that. But yeah, that's everything I want to talk about this week. So I think we'll be back next week actually, or we'll take a gap.
Yeah, I mean, we're kind of just, I don't know. We haven't really come up with a hard set schedule yet, but it'll get worked out eventually. But yeah, I mean, if you don't have anything else you want to add, our Bear kind of plugged everything, so don't forget Tuesday night is the Among Us tournament, and then Friday night is going to be the Fall Guys tournament. The Among Us tournament is just for fun, or not tournament, the Among Us night. Sorry, I'm thinking ahead of myself. Among Us Tuesday night, Friday night Fall Guys tournament. There is money on the line for the Fall Guys tournament. $25 is the pool, $10 is the first place, 15 is second place, or
15 first,
15.
Second. Old man here is getting confused.
Bro, it's been a long night. Okay, give me a break.
Old man's getting a little confused, but yeah, that's how it is. So definitely, at least before Tuesday the 1st, try to come by if you can. Even come to chat. Should have a couple of spaces open if anything, because up to 15. Yep. So definitely come by and say what's good or see what's good. If it's past that date, well, sucks for you. You either miss out on money or miss out on a good time on Among Us. Other than that, though, you hope everyone else has a good night. Enjoy your Halloween tomorrow, the 31st. But yeah, that is all I have to say. So thank you for tuning in. Thank you for listening about everything that we had today. It was a fun time having Bear on. Definitely enjoy his company and his time. So much love to him. And also much love to Jay for sitting down here with me today and having a good night. Talk on that. So
For sure. Links down below, Twitter, Discord, everything. If you don't want to search through everyone's links and stuff like that, hop into the Vincere Discord. Every link you would ever need is in there. There's link trees, everything to everyone's socials, everyone's Twitches, everything you would ever need is in that Discord. The High Rulers Discord will also be linked down below. Not a whole lot going on in our server. We don't. We're a little bit more. I don't want to say we're a closed community.
Changed. We definitely can be a little more active.
Yeah, definitely. That's something that we can work on. But the invite's still there. The Vincere Discord right now has a lot more stuff going on. High Rulers Discord, to be determined if we're going to get some stuff going on. That'll be something we talk about. But yeah, thanks everyone for listening to the second episode of the Vincere High Rulers podcast. If you're watching on YouTube, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. That really does help. If you're listening on any other platforms, thank you for listening. I'll see y'all next time.
Have a good night.